Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Paul, the Canadian Snowman, and you are here with Laos on geography. Now, no clue? No clue? Trying to think of, I've heard the name before. That's about it. But I'm about to learn a whole lot more. You guys know the deal. We're going to learn a bunch of cool stuff, interesting stuff, and see how awesome this country is. But anyways, guys, please hit that like and subscribe below. And yeah, we'll get right into the video. Laos pronounced. So it's Lao? Lao? uh, let's get to the video.
Lao. It's pronounced Lao.
Wow. I'm sorry. Still, please hit the like button. Don't hurt me. Oh my god. I know I got some pissed off people at me right now. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Welcome back to my channel. It's Lao on geography now. I'm sorry. All right. Anyway, I guess I should do. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Full screen. Anyways.
Not Laos. Lao. Cool. Okay, now we can allow this episode to begin properly.
God.
Sorry, I'm so used to getting punched or hit or whatever whenever that happens. I guess I'm off the hook.
Sorry I'm late. Traffic was ridiculous out there.
Oh, okay.
Ready for this?
Yeah, okay.
All right.
What?
It's time to learn geography
now! Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbs. Today we cover one of the least understood Asian countries on the planet, Laos. You know, Vietnam and Thailand get all the attention, but across the Mekong, you'll find yourself in a unique place of rustic traditions driven by history, spirits, bombshells, and spice. Let's begin. If I could describe Laos' location in 2 words, I'd probably say beautifully unfortunate. First of all, Laos is landlocked in Southeast Asia, bordered by all the other mainland peninsular Indochina nations, as well as China to the north. The country is divided into 17 provinces and 1 prefecture, Kampeng Nakhon, which includes the capital, Vientiane. Or Vientiane. I've heard Lao people pronounce it both ways. I don't know exactly which one is correct. I'm more inclined to say Vientiane though, because I don't trust that T.
Vientiane.
Oh, and the shape of the country looks like a palm tree. Anyway, the largest cities after the capital are Paxe in the south and Savannah Ket, a little further north, and the busiest and only international airports are Vientiane's 2 twins, Watai International, and the smaller Luang Prabang International, as well as Paxe International in the south. Otherwise, Laos doesn't really have any border disputes or territorial anomalies, except for maybe the King's Romans Casino right at the tri-point border with Thailand and Myanmar. This place is located on what is known as the Golden Triangle Zone, a controversial area in which most of Asia's opium is grown and distributed, mostly headed to China. The casino lies right at the heart of the triangle and is kind of like a Chinese enclave leased out to China for 99 years since 2007, and even has the Chinese army stationed there. It's kind of like a lawless free zone where controversial practices like exotic animal breeding and harvesting can happen. Look, China, we know, it's not a secret.
Dude, this is like the 2nd consecutive episode where you've criticized China. I mean, do you have some...
So what do you guys, I guess those of you who are from Laos, what do you guys think of this, you know? You guys just don't mind because like you get like an awesome casino, or is it like you guys kind of like frown upon it, like you want your land back? Kind of curious about how you guys think about it, you know? Like kind of like a getaway kind of place, you know, you can do whatever you want. Just curious. Anyways.
A secret.
Dude, this is like the 2nd consecutive episode where you've criticized China. I mean, do you have something against them, or what's going on there? I mean, you want to explain a little bit?
No, I don't. It's just they kind of have a lot of controversial undertones when it comes to the research when I write these scripts.
Like what research?
Well, for one, the actual subscribers that are from these countries that have emailed us at geographylater@gmail.com that have mentioned these things, so I kind of have to take the info that they give and analyze it.
Analyze. Okay, well, we don't want this channel to seem like it's swerving towards some kind of agenda.
Oh, trust me, I'm about to throw my own country under the bus in about 3, 2, 1. One thing you have to understand is that in Laos, bombshells are everywhere, and they came mostly from the USA during the Vietnam War. Even though Laos was theoretically neutral, as a tactic, the US sought to destroy the Trong Song supply routes, or the Ho Chi Minh Trail that passed through Laos. With minimal warnings to the people before starting, they dropped 260 million tons of bombs, making Laos the most bombed country per capita in history. About a third of the bombs did not explode explode, and so to this day there's still a potential danger in certain areas, and the entire country is littered with metallic shells. They even made their own little economy of recycled shell casings and war memorabilia.
So I'm curious, yes, and again, to those who live there, like how often do you find these things? Like you just like kind of like walking, I'm not walking, but like I don't know, maybe you're digging a hole for some reason, I don't know, and you come across one. Is it like scary, or is it like, oh, another bombshell? You kind of like try and like pick it up and throw it to the side, and then that'd be freaky, man. That's crazy. Like, you guys were even part of that and still got in the middle of it. Wow, that's a lot.
Littered with metallic shells. They even made their own little economy of recycled shell casings and war memorabilia, such as the fuel tank boats of Tabak and bullet shell necklaces like this one that was sent to me from Geography Nicole, who lived in Laos. Thanks, Nicole. Speaking of which, some places of interest might include the Plain of Jars, the Xian Khan Buddha Park, the Golden Stupa of Patat Luang, the Lao National Museum, Tam Sakurin Sava Nakuha Cave Temple, Creator's Restaurant surrounded by bomb fragments, the Royal Palace of Luang Prabang, the ancient Hindu temples of Wat Po, Patushai War Memorial, Jiao Anuvang, and so many Wats and temples like Wat Dane Sung in the jungle, Wat Sisaket, Wat Sien Tong, and Wat Mai Suwana Pumaham. What? Suwana Pumaham. What? Look, I'm not gonna do the Cambodia episode thing again. Alright, well that just about covers it. Let's venture into the jungles now, shall we? You know what I love about Southeast Asia? The colors, the biodiversity, the immeasurable varieties of fruit and vegetables that I've never even heard of. The downside? The humidity. Laos is just like you'd expect, located in the hot, humid jungle zone of the Annamite mountain range to the southeast of Asia, fed by the mighty Mekong River, the longest in the country. The tallest peak, Phu Bia, lies in the central part of the country nearby Vientiane, and is actually restricted to climb due to the high number of unexploded bombs that still lay at the area. Yeah, we're back on the bomb thing. It's like a reoccurring theme here in Laos. Laos is a nation of very notable waterfalls like the Quan Si and Kone Pa Feng, as well as the caves like Pak U and Kong Lo. Yeah, I know, Southeast Asian languages aren't really my forte. Animals are abundant, the national animal being the Asian elephant. Here you can find way too many species of animals like monkeys, sun bears, tigers, monitor lizards, marbled cats, even a few Javan rhinoceri. The physical geography part is always like the most boring because it leaves little room for witty comments or skits. I feel like you guys are getting bored. Ken, get over here, do something interesting. Okay, I get it, you're talented. That's good. That's whatever. Good. One of the weirdest things, though, would probably be the Naga fireballs, a strange natural phenomena that supposedly occurs on the Mekong River, in which strange fireballs arise from the water. Scientists say if it is real, it might be caused by phosphine gases emitted by bacteria that combust, but so far nobody's completely...
Is this really a thing? Like, is this real, or is it like a hoax, kind of like, you know, like the Loch Ness monster kind of thing, or is this like for real, like this actually happens, or you know it happens, but you know someone's doing it, you know, or I don't know. That's really cool, really freaky, just really awesome. And then now I'm really interested to see how it works. But anyways. What was this guy saying?
Real. It might be caused by phosphine gases emitted by bacteria that combust, but so far nobody's completely sure as to how it happens. Either way, it's fun and people gather around to watch it. But yeah, can you imagine just crossing the river during a fireball show? Yeah, that was the only skit I could write for this segment. Food! Over 80% of the population works in agriculture, and Lao food is quite delicious, similar to other regions around them, but noticeably spicy. You have things like papaya salad, or tam mak huang, the national dish la, bamboo shoot soup, mok, sour sausage, and khao lam, which is sticky rice made in a bamboo pipe. Oh, and they have this rice whiskey thing called lao lao. That stuff is weird. Like, sometimes they ferment it with snakes. Okay, so I'm part Asian, so I can say this. Asians, why do we do that? Why do we ferment whole animals in our drinks? What's the appeal? Power? Stamina? Dude, it's a rotting corpse extracting decomposed carcinogens. Stop doing it! But you know, that's none of my business. Every so often though, you might find a baguette or croissant on the menu in many restaurants. The reason why has a little something to do with something called the 19th century, which we will explain in. Now, Lao is funny because it's like an alternate universe Thailand that got thrashed around in a completely different upbringing in history. First of all, the country is made up of about 8 million people and has 47 recognized ethnic groups divided into 160 subgroups and tribes. Of these groups, the ethnic Lao people make up the majority at a little over half of the population. Next are the hill tribes of the Khmu, the Hmong, and the rest are numerous other tribes, as well as an incredibly small community of Europeans, mostly French in origin. They also use the Lao kip as their currency, but also accept Thai baht and US dollars. They use the Type-C outlet, and they drive on the right side of the road, which makes things interesting when their cousins in Thailand visit. And remember, not everyone in Lao is Lao. The tribal people like the Hmong and the Mien speak their own languages, virtually unintelligible to the Lao language, and this is why there's a distinction between the terms Lao and Laotian. Lao is ethnically Lao, whereas Laotian is just someone from Lao, but might not necessarily identify as ethnically Lao. Got it? It's like that whole thing we had to explain with Bengali versus Bangladeshi, or Azeri versus Azerbaijani. You get the picture. So anyway, ethnic Lao people, no shocker, speak Lao. I love how simple this word is. It's like an adjective, pronoun, and noun all in one. Lao. Lao is a language that is almost completely intelligible to Thai, although Thai people might have a little bit more difficulty understanding Lao. Even their alphabets are similar, based off the same ancient Brahmic source. However, interestingly enough, because of the former French colonial days, Lao is actually part of La Francophonie, the second largest in Southeast Asia and possibly the largest French-speaking population per capita in the area. More than Vietnam or Cambodia, as over a third of the students study French in school, and they actually use it sometimes in business and tourism. Ah oui, ne lâche pas mon petit chou. Ensemble nous pouvons contrôler le monde. No, but seriously, Norman Lewis once interviewed a French officer who was quoted for saying, "France did nothing for Lao. I say this proudly. We preserved it through our neglect." Faith-wise, Lao is interesting because about half of the population considers themselves kind of Buddhist to varying degrees. However, traditionally, prior to the spread of Buddhism, Lao was actually heavily animist. And to this day, the remaining half still practices traditional spirit worship, especially the hill tribes, which has rituals that have synchronized into mainstream Lao Buddhism. For example, most people, even Buddhists, still believe in the 32 guardian Quan spirits that balance life. According to the belief, sickness can be caused if one of the spirits strays away, so they tie cotton strings around their wrists to keep them around. Lao also celebrates a different New Year for the beginning of the monsoon season in April called Songkran. Prior to 1975, Lao was under a kingdom until the Communist Party came in and deposed them. There's actually a living descendant of the last king, this guy who lives in exile in Paris. Today, Lao is under a one-party socialist republic, the Lao People's Revolutionary Party, that supposedly espouses Marxism and Leninism until 2012 when Obama was like,
So, you visited our country, saw the cool stuff, we gave you the meat, dumplings, and papaya salad. What do you think, Obama?
I guess you're not that communisty. Let's open up trade deals.
Sweet, I'll get the paperwork.
What, you thought just because Noah was black I was gonna make him play Obama? Okay, here at GN, we are colorblind. Plus, we'd probably get some complaints from the Diversity Commission. Anyway, speaking of government, history! In the quickest way I can put it, here's how Lao went down. Ancient agricultural societies, the Lao Bronze Age, Thai tribes move in, probably from the areas of South China. This guy comes in, he makes Buddhism the state religion. Three Kingdoms period, the kingdom of Lan Shang comes in. By the way, the name means millions of elephants with white parasols. Fights with the Burmese, this guy gets the throne, Golden Age begins, the kingdom collapses to the Siamese, the Chinese try to attack, but France was like, nope. They agreed to become a French protectorate, the French kind of leave them alone and don't really care because they just want to buffer with Thailand. World War II, the Thai, Chinese, Japanese all try to grab at them. They break free and declare independence, but France was like, haha, JK, you're still mine. The Lao was like, and then France gives them autonomy, and finally 1953, independence. The monarchy is deposed and exiled, the Communist Party takes over, tons of Lao leave the country, especially the hill tribe minorities like the Hmong. Economy and population steadily increased, but not substantially. And here we are today. Speaking of which, outside of Asia, the US has the largest Hmong community in the world, taking in refugees since the 1970s, with more Hmong people than there are in Lao. The largest concentrations being in Minnesota and Wisconsin, so much that they even have public signs written in the Hmong language. If you want to learn more about Hmong people, just watch the movie Gran Torino.
Oh yeah!
I like the barbershop scene. Anyway, some famous people from Lao or of Lao descent might include people like Vang Pao, Ken Lo, Guo Mum, Chloe Dao, Chumali Sayasone, Jerry Yang, Kesone Pomviane, Prince Supanavong, Sisavang Matana, Tisavang Vong, Suvana Puma, and Tongsing Tamavong. So many other things we could have talked about, like how the national sports Sepak Takraw, which is incredibly difficult to play, and Muay Lao, which is like Muay Thai but a little bit crazier. You have the monks with the morning alms. The traditional hill tribe clothing looks pretty cool. Bamboo mouth organs are like the most popular instrument. Home theater looks cool. Animist shrines and all those taboo rituals are found all over. Yes, there are some controversies with persecution against certain people groups, but we really don't have time to get into that.
Ooh, are you sidestepping it because you're avoiding a potential argument that could be discussed?
I literally just talked about the bombings of the Vietnam War. Trust me, we literally just don't have time to get into it. Oh, and do not touch someone on the top of the head. It's considered sacred. And you know what else is sacred? Friendship. Okay, time to move on to our last segment.
Noted.
Lao is interesting because technically it's one of the last remaining communist countries in the world, but they operate different from what you would typically assume a communist country acts like.
I'm sorry, but why would someone touch someone on top of the head anyway? Like, ever. Like, I've never lived life. I've never just, like, touched someone on top of it, like, ever. Just for, like, hey, reached out. So, interesting. Is that, like, really a thing, though? Like, do people, like, actually do that? I don't know. Just in general,
communist countries in the world, but they operate different from what you would typically assume a communist country acts like. Despite the colonial past, they still get along pretty well with France, since France didn't really do too much, and they kind of left them alone during the French Indochina years. The French left marks on architecture and food, and today they make up the largest EU tourist group. Laos kind of takes political cues from Vietnam. However, recently Laos has been shying away from dependence and has been looking to outside investors when Vietnam isn't looking. Surprisingly, Laos is one of the 37 states that recognizes the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic. They have diplomatic relations and even a non-resident embassy hosted in India. When it comes to their best friends, however, most Lao people I've talked to have said Thailand, and believe it or not, the Philippines, kind of. The Philippines sent doctors and volunteers during war times, and the heads of state have repeatedly visited each other over the past 20 years. Filipinos are known for being the English teachers to Lao people, and they hold the most teaching positions in the country. Thailand not only gives them access to the sea and is their biggest trading partner, but is also their big brother that understands them the best culturally. Most Lao people watch Thai TV shows and movies on a regular basis and are fairly familiar with their brother's culture, even though most Thai people probably couldn't say the same about Lao, but still they generally love each other. In conclusion, what do you get when you mix communism with a splash of Buddhism mixed with some French buildings and 32 guardian spirits? You get Lao. Stay tuned! Latvia is coming up next.
Wow, way to go, Lao. I mean, you had some, like, definitely seemed like a lot was going on there. The landscape looked beautiful. I loved all of it, and it seemed like you guys had, like, a lot of rituals going on there, and a lot of cool sights to see. Kind of curious on how like tourism is over there. You know, do you guys get like a lot of tourists over there? Like, because usually a lot of that that happens like on the coastlines of places, but you don't have a coastline. So I'm kind of curious. Do you have like a bunch of like tourist hotels and stuff, cool stuff like that? I don't know where if tourist hotels looks cool, but it'd be kind of cool. That like there's like tours and stuff. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying you guys have a lot of tourism there. I'm just Anyways, please hit that like and subscribe in this video, please, and definitely a very interesting place. And yeah, another cool video from Geography Now, and definitely check them out. I will be doing every single country they do. So, anyways, peace, and I'll catch you guys in future videos. I think we're like halfway through, something around there. So got like 80, 90, something like that more to go. Like, I don't know, 100. I don't know. Anyways, peace. I'll see you guys in future videos. Bye.